let's take a quick look at page 99. So up top we had our inequalities. Okay, so number 1 here, we leave it as it is there. We put the less than sign between them. 3/4 less than 4/2. 4/2 is improper, so it tells us it's bigger. Or we get 4/2 greater than 3/4. 2, both had 6 on the bottom, so those are easy to compare. It'd be a less than sign if you left them as it is there. So 5/6 is less than 6/6. Or if you flip them around, it'd be greater than. 3, there you got 7/9 greater than 3/8. Or flip them around with the less than. 4, leave them as it is there. We get 1/10 less than a half. Or a half is greater than 1/10. 5, leave them as it is. 8/8 is less than 8/4. Or 8/4 is greater than 8/8. Okay? Bottom here. So these are all nice subtracting ones. And then just had to list whether you got an improper or a proper. So 1, you get 10/10, improper. 2, 7/8, which is proper. 3, 13/12, improper. 4, 1/4, which is proper. And 5, you get 6/6, improper. Okay. Questions on any of those? Okay, what we're looking at today, kind of our last real lesson before another cool test on Wednesday. Okay? Tomorrow we're going to do some reviewing and we got tests on Wednesday. But so we're really not learning too much new today. It's just looking at, do these answers make sense? Okay? Can we find some common mistakes that people, and some mistakes you guys have probably made sometimes in working with adding and subtracting fractions? So what we're going to be looking at right away is just some problems, and they solved them, and we got to figure out where they went wrong. Okay? So if we look at this first one right here, 7/10 minus a half, and they went, it equals 6/8. That's wrong. Someone tell me what's our error here. What did they do wrong? Sarah?
The bottom's not the same.
Yeah, the bottoms aren't the same. Okay, we need to get common denominators. They just subtracted them, everything as it is. Okay, we kind of look at our rods, how we used to look at these with the fractions. You can kind of see the mistake also here. Okay, we got 7/10. We're taking away a half. Now, if we put these in the same common denominator, we'd multiply 1/2 by 5. On top and bottom, we get 5/10. So it should really be 7/10 minus 5/10. For what's our answer going to be? 7/10 minus 5/10. Anyone?
7/10 minus.
Minus 5/10. If we replace that 1/2 with 5/10, what do we get? 2/10. 7 minus 5, we get 2. 10 stays the same. So we got to get that common denominator, and it stays the same there for that answer of 2/10. Okay? How about this one right here? 3/4 plus 3/4 equals 6/8. Can somebody here find what they did wrong?
They just like
Answer?
they added 2 plus.
Yeah, what part did they add that was the mistake? Do you add the tops?
No.
When you add, do you add the tops?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 plus 3, we get 6, but then on the bottom, what should we have on the bottom actually? We should still have a 4, right? Kind of like that last problem. Remember, our denominators stay the same? So here they have the same denominators of both. They have a 4 and a 4. Okay, so we're good to go right away. They would just add the top, get a 6. Bottom, we want to keep it with that same 4. Okay? Here they got 8/9 minus 2/9. And they got an answer of 10/9. What's the mistake here?
They added the top.
they added the top instead of subtracting. They did most things right. They had common bottoms, but then they just kind of missed the whole sign there, and they added instead of subtracting. We want to go back a couple, and we would get 6 over 9 instead is what we should be getting. Okay? So here's our big things to look at. These are the big rules that we have. Okay? And the most important thing, remember, look at the denominators. Look at the bottom of the fractions. Remember that the denominators need to be the same for us to be able to add or subtract fractions. Okay? That's what I've been stressing on this last couple of weeks, and this is all we've been doing. Okay? Use what we know about magnitudes. Like, kind of look at, does the answer make sense? If you're subtracting, but you end up getting a bigger fraction, does that make sense? Kind of like that last one there, when they should have been subtracting, but somehow got a bigger fraction. You know, so look at kind of magnitudes. If it's bigger than what it should be. And then I guess this one's kind of that same error right there. Look carefully at the operation. Do we have adding or do we have subtracting? Okay? Take a look at the next page in your workbook, page 100. Okay? What you're doing on here is they have problems set up for you. You're going to write a C if the answer is correct and there's nothing to do. If they did something wrong, put an I and do the problem the right way. Okay? When you get done with this page, I'll take a look at it, make sure everything's good, and then I'll have you grab a whiteboard for what we're going to do next. Okay? See. VID00001. Okay, the other part of what we're looking at today is kind of dealing with like what we looked at for that second part last Friday, when we were working with like those pipes that the plumbers are working with, looking at the different widths of pipes. And they kind of showed that inside, we were looking at the different widths. We're going to look at today, like you see at the widths, like yes, last time. We're going to look at today is different lengths of pipes, okay? And if they need to add some more to a pipe or take some away, combining different pipes, because you know, sometimes on a job, you only have a certain amount of pipe, you need some more, sometimes you need to take some away so it fits a certain area, okay? So we're looking at these 4 pipes right here, pipe A, B, C, and D, okay? And again, nice, they tell us what each one is here. So pipe A, it's a whole unit, or they tell us just 4/4. Okay, B, 7/8 of a unit, or B is C, 2/3 of a unit, D, 1/4 of a unit. Okay, so if we look at the first question here, if we want to combine pipe A with pipe D, find the new length. Okay. Combine. Do you think that's going to mean we're going to add or we're going to subtract? It means we're going to add. Okay, so let's set this up. Okay, we have pipe A. A, they're telling us it's 1 unit or 4/4. We can use either part that we want. Take 4/4, so pipe A, 4/4 plus, how much is pipe D? 1/4. Do we need to change anything here?
No.
Nope. Just add, what do we get? 5/4 in our label, units. Okay? So we're doing kind of problems like this. I want you guys to try this next one out. Okay? You're cutting 1/8 of a unit off of pipe D. Okay? What's the new length of pipe D? So take pipe D. If you're cutting something off, does that mean you're going to add or subtract? Subtract. Okay? So go ahead. Do this problem on the whiteboards. I'll walk around and kind of take a look at it. You're cutting 1/8 of a unit off of pipe D. Okay, so take your fraction for pipe D. You told me cutting off was subtracting. And you're subtracting of 1/8. You might have to change your fraction here. So if we have to rewrite it after we change the fraction. Take a look at this one quick. We got 1/4 minus 1/8. We got to change this fraction. What are we multiplying this fraction by? 2. 2. Divided by 2, multiplied by 2. We get 2/8. So replace 2/8, and we get 1/8 units. 2/6 of a unit to pipe C. Okay? So you're taking pipe C, you're adding 2/6 of a unit to it.